Empathy, what is it and why is it important? Hi, I'm AJ Fisher. I'm the creator of the HYPOXiX method, and we're going to dive deep today into why empathy is such an integral component of our lives and how you can enhance it doing something in your exercise program. There's a whole spectrum of empathy ranging from stoic as a rock with no connection to the emotions of others, and there's the empath who over emotes with others and can even be debilitating at times due to the overwhelming effect that others' emotions can have on our own. But that sweet spot right in the middle of the spectrum where we find our balance between emoting with others and saving some room for sense of self and the essential self-soothing emotions necessary for survthriving in whatever environment we find ourselves in. This is my personal definition of the empathy sweet spot. What is empathy? As defined by Merriam-Webster, it is the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to, and vicariously experiencing the feelings, thoughts, and experiences of another. I've always found myself practicing my own empathy skills on a daily basis with clients. I'm working one-on-one with individuals, and at times I have over-empathized, and I've found that I am an empath, and I do have a talent for empathy. It's a double-edged sword. Why? Because I can overdo the empathy for another and lose my sense of self. And sometimes you don't realize that until over time you become burnt out because you're over-empathizing with others. Now, many of us have the opposite problem and we aren't able to empathize as much as we want to. And so really finding that sweet spot, it's a skill and it's something that's worth working on. I knew that I had a gift to be a hyper-empath. But like many of us, when a talent is recognized, we can push it way overboard due to the constant positive reinforcement that dopaminergic response gives us and that dopaminergic desire for more until we burn out. Even though this article is about to lead into how we can become more empathetic toward others due to the research on performing certain activities with the body and MRI imaging of the brain, I wanted to lead with the fact that empathy can be a double-edged sword, just like exercise, just like anything. Where is your sweet spot? In my experience, many of the individuals who I've trained desire to become more empathetic. Now, what are we lacking when we lack empathy? Well, there are a multitude of reasons we could be lacking empathy. Researchers are still looking into this, but there certainly is a correlation between being able to use an artistic area of our brain and the more scientific area of the brain at the same time. A lot of that is crossing the hemispheres of the brain and being able to emote with one another deeply at an emotional level, which also tends to correlate with our ability to appreciate art. This is one of the reasons why I find it so imperative to integrate some level of artistry into every single one of my clients' exercise sessions, even if they don't realize that they're getting art in some way, shape, or form. They think they're coming in for their 3 sets of 12 bicep curls, but because I'm keeping them at a certain rhythm, and I'm constraining them with music, and I'm forcing that temporal lobe and that auditory response, that listening response in conjunction with that artistic musical response, they are exercising their artistry. Now, the reason I'm bringing all of this up, and I recently read this research article, and it was just so mind-blowing to me and so fascinating to me, but also really made sense, is because there are certain elements that you can add to your exercise program that can help you to become more empathetic. Now, this research article looked at the brains through MRI imaging of ballroom dancers. I am truly excited to present this article on how combining exercise with artistry can activate and strengthen the areas of the brain that make you more empathetic. Although I will end this section with the question, if we increase activity of the areas of the brain that can serve as precursors for more intelligent empathy, does that simply make us more empathetic, or does it increase our empathy IQ, which makes us a better judge of how much empathy to give away and how much of that energy to keep for sense of self and not being overrun by others' emotions? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. In a recent study by Wu as the head researcher 2023, and I'll reference to this article in the comments below, this article was called "The Association Between Ballroom Dance Training and Empathetic Concern, Behavioral and Brain Evidence. Scientists observed gray matter in the subgenual anterior cingulate cortex and EC scores were positively correlated, and the authors concluded that dance training indeed promotes empathy. Empathy can be trained just like a muscle to become more reactive, more intelligent, more flexible, more mobile, have greater strength, have greater stamina and endurance. So if we exercise these skills and we exercise these pathways of the brain, we are able to use them with a higher level of skill. And so what they found in these ballroom dancers is that they did see the increased gray matter in those areas that tend to correlate with empathy, and they did have higher levels of empathy toward others. Now, this is not the only study that has shown that dancers specifically are activating areas of their brain that allow them to be more emotional and more empathetic individuals. Now, this is no coincidence. When we're dancing, we are simultaneously activating areas of our brain that are calculating and planning and predicting in combination with emotional areas of the brain. So there's a lot of blood flow happening in the brain, in many areas of the brain that's very unique to dance. I know this feeling. I have a former career as a professional dancer. I was dancing for almost my entire life, and I know that feeling of just feeling the emotions of others so deeply, of the other dancers, not only of the other dancers on the stage, but also other individuals. I'm able to deeply feel, overfeel what others are experiencing, and I find it to be such a fulfilling experience. Of course, we need to make sure not to take that overboard and recognize when we have that ability to empathize with others, and make sure to save some energy for yourself and empathize with yourself. I know the definition of empathy is toward others, but sympathize with yourself. Save some of that energy for yourself. But again, this is truly incredible for so many reasons. These results show that the higher levels of empathy, which create that strong fabric of quality relationships and a strong community, are at levels that enable us to connect more deeply. And this is something that many individuals lack, especially in this Western world where we are tied to our smartphones and our devices, where we aren't connecting as much with one another because we feel in a fake sense that we're getting that socializing with social media and communicating with others online, but it is not the same. And the brain chemistry, the brain MRIs show this. We are supposed to have levels of tachykinins in our brain when we are experiencing community. Those tachykinins are not raised when we're on our phones. These tachykinins are key for health and longevity, for brain health. So if we're looking to promote a program of anti-aging and bolster that and practice something on a daily basis that's going to help prevent brain decline, increase the quality of your relationships. And one of the ways you can increase the quality of your relationships is by increasing and improving your skill to have deeper relationships and improving that skill of empathy. Having a stronger ability for empathy for members of your community can assist you in living a longer, more fulfilling and meaningful life, full of tight-knit friendships and family members. I am so passionate about the benefits that dance has given me. Even though I'm not a professional dancer anymore, I'm a full-time personal trainer running a business, I recognize that those ingredients of the dance recipe have heightened my experience, my social experience, my body experience, my proprioception. On so many levels, I benefited from dance. So I will never not include elements of dance in my own workout. And this is why I've been so passionate about interweaving the ingredients of the recipe of dance into every single one of my clients' workouts. And if one of my clients is watching this right now, you might think, I don't do a dance workout though. No, you don't. But I have isolated the components of dance and how they positively affect the brain. Today we're specifically talking about empathy, but there are a multitude of ways that dance benefits the brain, and I have integrated them into your workouts without you even knowing it, possibly. I mean, some of us do dance workouts. It is super fun to do a dance workout for cardio, but many want to run screaming when I say dance workouts, so we don't do dance workouts. But I combine these elements in my workouts so that you're getting those benefits that dance gives you in every single component of the brain. So what are these elements and how do I integrate them? Short-term memorization of a pattern. 3-6-7 pattern for foot agility, and then 12-10-9 for sets of strength. Memorize these numbers, short-term memory, got it, good, go for it, and then I won't help you. Arms and legs moving together in a certain pattern. Agility patterns combine legs with arms. And yes, there are some dance cardio workouts on the website because I know that some of you love to dance for your cardio, but most of them aren't dance workouts, but they combine these elements that activate those sections of the brain that are beneficial for anti-aging. Listening to the music with the execution of a beat. High groove beats have been shown to have the highest level of activity in the prefrontal cortex. Elevation of heart rate. That one's easy. We know how to get your heart rate up. But the key is that you get it up in conjunction with all of these other elements. Constrained with music. Musical auditory processing, which I assist you with by keeping you on a beat in our originally composed NutriMusic tracks. Listening to your breath. The engaged exhale, blow, hiss, soft shish, loud shish has you listening to both your breath and mine. This increases alpha waves and is a very salient auditory processing machine. Dynamic moves, covering a full spectrum of movement quality, as smooth moves will activate different areas of the brain than staccato, sharp moves. The warm-up and the agility patterns, all of differing, unique qualities of movement that ignite areas of the brain responsible for movement quality. Balance. At least 2 balancing exercises in every 30-minute workout that also increases the navigation system, spatial awareness, and memory in the hippocampus. Rhythm. I give you rhythmic prescriptions in every exercise, whether it is strength or cardio or core. The prediction, performance, and outcome of a planned rhythm strengthens pathways in the brain that both drummers and dancers experience with improved neuroplasticity from the application of this skill. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, yeah, but I'm not a dancer. I'm not going to go to dance class. I see and can appreciate the science behind the benefits of a dancer's brain, but how do I integrate that into my workout? Well, you can take these components, those ingredients of the dance recipe that I just listed, and you can figure out how to put those into your daily workout. And or you can come work out with me. I do have an online workout. Yes, I do. And I have incorporated all of these dance elements into total body functional strength, into our cardio, our cognition cardio combos, into our core combos, into our mobility combos. So on the HYPOXiX website, hypoxix.studio, I am giving you a strength class where I'm keeping you constrained within music. I'm giving you a certain tempo to follow, a very specific tempo. I'm giving you short-term memorization, not too hard, but hard enough that your brain hurts a little. You want your brain to hurt a little bit so you know that you're working, you're bodybuilding that brain. I'm very, very passionate about bodybuilding the brain in every single workout. And within those elements, we're getting the heart rate up. We're working our arms and our legs in a very specific pattern. Nothing gets old. As soon as it feels old, you're moving on to the next one, because this is what dancers experience. When they're learning choreography, they're always on their toes, pun definitely intended. You're on your toes, but then you're also like, your brain has to be sharp the whole time because you are short-term memorizing a pattern and then you're applying it immediately. You know, your adrenaline is spiking a little. This is good. This is what we want in a workout. But we also don't want it to last too long. And this is why my workouts are only 30 minutes long. And so if you'd like to interweave these components, including the breath, because this whole workout has the foundation of my breathography technique, then come take a class with me. If you go to hypoxix.fitness, that's HYPOXiX.fitness, there's the free community. If you start there, you can learn the method for free, interact in the community. I'm very interactive there. I'm there every day. Ask a question on the FAQs and I will answer your question immediately. And then once you're ready to start your 8-week cycles, where over 8 weeks you're progressively increasing the challenge of the breath as you increase the challenge of the cognition, the cardio, the core, and the strength, then go to hypoxix.studio. That's where the studio is, or you can click on that button on hypoxix.fitness that says take a class. Now, also, you may be here because you're a nerd like me and maybe you're a trainer, and if you want to take a continuing education unit, the breathing core, that is supported by NASM, NSCA. Get your continuing education units, and that's also at hypoxix.fitness. It was so lovely chatting with you today. I'm passionate about teaching this cognition work by using the elements of dance. Dance has given me a lot of gifts, and I want to keep giving this gift back to you by giving you your exercise program that you need to do 3 or 4 times a week, but then also get those elements of dance so that your brain can keep getting younger. See you at the next one.